Hey, happy Friday! This is part 4 of the Make Room for More series. If you have been following along, awesome! I'd love to hear how it's going for you. If you have missed the other videos, you can find them on my profile. If you just scroll down, we started on Monday, I'll do a really quick recap for you so that you can kind of know where we are at this point. So the first part, we talk about what it means to make room for more and what that can look like, why we need to make room for more. And so part 1 is the awareness that we need to make room for more, and the assignment that I gave was to write down and reflect on what is crowding your space that is causing you to want to need to make room for more in the first place. And then part 2, in that video, we talked about how we can start removing some of the things out of our cluttered space and bring in what we do want. And that assignment for part 2 is to identify what it is that you now want to bring into your space. What is more you? What causes you to feel more alive? What is in alignment with who you are? And then part 3, we talked about how to actually start implementing the Make Room for More process. How do we begin removing those things that we don't want and bringing in the things that we do? And also how to make sure that we do it in a way that doesn't just clutter up our space again, so that we leave open, empty space to really hear and listen and feel good about. It's kind of the process of being able to just breathe and let go so that we can receive what we want and need to receive. And we also talked towards the end of that video of part 3 about what is love, how do we perceive it, what do we think a lot of times it is, and so what it's not and what it is. And so just to recap that, love is not something that is meant to be hurtful or harmful. It is actually meant to be abundant and joyful and healing. And so if you've been following along, you know I love my manifestation, my motivation manifesto cards. I think they are so fun and timely, and I pull them every day. And so with that, today, part 4, we're talking about how to handle when the past wants to bring stuff into our space versus moving into what some people call a compelling future that is filled with what we would like more of. And Joe Dispenza, if you follow him on social media, if you are a student of his work, Joe Dispenza talks about how a lot of us are creating with the past. We're always going, what don't I want? And identifying with those things, and therefore our focus is just bringing more of it into the future. And so our past and our present and our future just keep being this habitual cycle of the same things, and we're not evolving where we want to go. We're not becoming more Christ-like and centered. And so with that thought, the statement that I pulled today is, any dirt or carnage of yesterday belongs nowhere near now, but rather in the dustbin of history where we need not rummage about. And the second one is, with love's transcendent power, we can be reborn and redirected. When we open to love, life itself can feel newer, more alive, more magical and meaningful. And what those say to me is, when we're thinking about the past, something I struggled with for a long time was a lot of, basically our entire past also helped create who we are. So how do we accept and honor our past without dragging the negative pieces of it into the future with us? How do we start creating new associations towards abundance? And what that can look like, what Joe Dispenza and a lot of other really powerful leaders talk about, what they talk about in the scriptures, what God says, is that we get to take the beautiful pieces that have helped us to evolve into a higher level of consciousness and use them as a reason to want to move forward, to want to improve, to want to get better, to open up to the abundant aspects of what love and light and healing actually looks like. And so this scripture that's actually in the book I just wrote is from Alma 32:28 in the Book of Mormon, and it says, "Yes, you can be filled with joy, but I will tell you that it is not easy. To do it, you must find your real self, not the person you want to be, but the person you are. And then you must have the courage to live it." How powerful and incredible is that statement? To acknowledge that this process is not easy, and that to do it, we have to start seeking ourselves, who we are, not who everybody else in the world says that we are. And then you actually have to be courageous enough to start living that way. And so when we talk about making room for more, we're looking at more us, more me, more you. What is that? That's why it's so impactful to be able to journal, to write out. Why I said on day one, identify what's in your space now. What is it that you don't like, that you want to take out and eliminate? And then what do you want to bring in? What is in your creation, in your compelling future, that allows you to feel that version of yourself, where you feel closer to your creator? For me, I believe that is God. For you, it may be somebody else or something else, the universe, whatever it may be. You get to decide. And then we get to courageously step in to that place. And isn't that so beautiful that we get to decide? That, as Joe Dispenza talks about, it's not about dragging the past with us. It's extracting from the past the parts of us that make us more us, that have helped us to evolve and to progress forward, and to say, this is who I am, this is why I am the way I am, and I don't have to stay a certain way forever. I get to be more abundant, more joyful, more alive. And so if you missed parts 1, 2, and 3 in the Make More for More process, go back and watch them, leave a comment, let me know what's coming up for you, what your thoughts are around it. If you think I'm completely wrong, you are allowed to say that. That's okay too. I will hold space for you and your beliefs and your opinions, as I know that you will do the same for me. And so I hope you have the most amazing weekend. If you have Father's Day celebrations coming up, if you don't, that's okay. Whatever this weekend is for you, let it be more abundant and joy-filled. And remember to bring the joy, to honor the struggle, and to keep progressing forward.